Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Klaus and thank you for tuning back in. Today we're going to be discussing and building a Town Hall 8 anti-3-star base. Now, I think that most of you are familiar with the term anti-3-star, but let me explain exactly what it means before anybody gets mad in the comments and says, Town Hall 9 3-starred me. You know, that's gonna happen. This is a Town Hall 8 base. The point of an anti-3-star Town Hall 8 base is to prevent the 3-star from the first Town Hall 8 attacker. It's meant to confuse people, to trick people, and force more than one Town Hall 8 attack on your base. Now, if you're attacking a really good clan, then they may grab that 3-star on the first try. That's because all Town Hall 8 attackers can 3-star all Town Hall 8 bases. It does not matter how tricky the Town Hall 8 base is. A good Town Hall 8 attacker can 3-star any Town Hall 8 base. However, if they go in unsuspecting, falling for all the traps and all of the nuances that the base has to offer, then they will fail and it will take another Town Hall 8 or maybe even a Town Hall 9 to dip down and take you out. And that is the goal of a anti-3-star base, to force a dip, which is a higher Town Hall attacker hitting you to 3-star, or at least forcing a second attack from another Town Hall 8. Now, this is a very good anti-dragon or dragloon base. I will be posting another base that's more anti-hog, if you see more hog attacks in your, or like more ground attacks in your wars, but this one defends both very well. It just is more directed toward defending the typical air attack. So let's break this base down, let's wipe it clean, build it together, and then we'll explain all of the baby nuances. Now, if you want to, guys, let me back up a little. If you want to, you guys can just take a picture of this right now. You can build it on your own. You don't have to listen to me chat, but I highly recommend that you sit back, relax, enjoy the show, listen to how it's built, listen to what makes this base tick, because this base will get out and other people will know exactly where your traps are. I want this base to be a template for you to be able to build your own bases in the future. So if you sit back, relax, and enjoy the show, you will learn a heck of a lot more than if you just copy the base and roll with it. Learning how to build your own bases is practically the most important aspect of Clash of Clans if you're a war player, aside from mastering a few attacking strategies, of course. You need to be able to build your own bases. So again, I highly recommend that you listen and enjoy learning about what makes this anti-3-star Town Hall 8 base tick. But with all that crap aside, let's build this base. It's going to be fun. So the first thing we're going to do, guys, we're going to remove all. We're going to go in, we're going to key in on that centerpiece there, and we're going to grab our clan castle. The clan castle is almost always a centered piece. And then right next to it, guys, we're going to put an air sweeper. The air sweeper being the most important building on the base for a Town Hall 8 that's trying to defend dragons. Next thing is the Barbarian King altar. Now, a centered Barbarian King altar is awesome because it forces the attacker to, they're not able to lure out your king, but he's not going to be sitting right next to the air defense. We're going to click him over 2 tiles, all right? And then the next step is we're going to wrap this little section of buildings with a wall compartment. No spaces around, no bubble, just wrap wrap this compartment. So there's your center compartment, or one of many. Now, this part here is actually quite a tricky piece of conversation there. 1 tile space, add in this little corridor. What that's going to do is that's going to subdivide the base in people's brains. It's literally going to trick their brains, and they're not going to be able to path anything as well as they'd hope if they're going to have to cross over that corridor. It's fantastic, guys. Believe me, that little corridor is worth putting in. So let's move up. Okay, let's move up. The next compartment is actually very, very simple. We're going to grab another, actually, let's go up a few tiles. I'm going to try to explain everything as I go. I'm going to build the base exactly as it appears because this base is magical and even I don't understand every single nuance of the base. Just build it piece by piece, tile by tile, building by building. All right, so this air defense is actually going to be in a moat. So we're going to do this. We're going to go 2 tiles out from the air defense in all directions, and what that's going to do is that's going to force somebody to directly assault this air defense from the north, and I'll explain why that's great for you as the defender here in a moment. But that's an air defense moat, and it's going to be insanely trapped, guys, insanely trapped. We're going to grab all 4 air bombs, and we're going to place them right here off this eastern corner of this air defense. Now, the 4 air bombs will drop a group of balloons, which is what it's trying to defend, but we'll talk more about that later. We're going to put a giant bomb here as well in case somebody is trying to attack you with hogs. And then let's move up. Let's put in a compartment that is 1, 2, 3, 4 walls out, and then bring it down to this corner here. There's going to be a couple of buildings in there. The cannon, just basically a hog funneler, something that'll bring in the hogs to to try to go after this air defense, and then they will run over that giant bomb, and it's beautiful bacon all over the place. We're going to put in elixir storage in there as well. High HP building to distract stuff. And then also another distractor, we're going to put in our skeleton trap, and it's going to be against that wall there. So that is that compartment there. Now let's move on down to the south here. Off of this corner where the Barbarian King altar is, we're going to go up north, kind of toward the northeast there. And then 2 walls away from the corner, we're going to attach it. So you've got this here. You got a corner, you got a middle building, and then you've got the intersection of all of those compartments. And then inside of this compartment, you're going to have an archer tower. So where's that baby at? Archer tower there. And then where's the bomb? The bomb tower. There we go. Bomb tower there. And these 2 are 1 tile separated, and then a spring trap. So the hogs are going to go in. They're going to take out to that arch tower, and they're going to run over the bomb tower and get sprung. And that's because the spring trap's in between the defenses. Next thing, guys, we're going to go off the corner at the bottom. We're going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5? Yeah, we're going to go over 5 down, and then we're going to connect these compartments corner to corner just like so. Oh, I'm sorry. We went too far over. We're not going to go corner to corner here. We're going to build from the bottom, work our way up, and figure out where the intersection is because it's hard to tell on the photo. So next thing is off the corner, off the bottom, we're going to put an archer tower. We're going to move him up and over 1. So he's 1 tile away from that bottom corner there. Then we're going to put another cannon, and it is going to be 1 tile away from that archer tower and against the outside wall. And in between them is, yep, you guessed it, a spring trap. Always trying to defend those hogs. And then lastly, an HP, oops, sorry, then an HP, a high HP building, a gold storage right next to that cannon, and kind of a very good distractor, kind of like a defensive tank, if you will. And then we're going to wrap the buildings around and attach them, no tile between that gold storage and that wall. So that is that compartment. Now let's swing down to let's go north this time. Let's go north. All right, so off this corner, not off that corner, 1 down, we're going to build a wall out just a little bit because we got to figure out where the intersection is here. We're going to put an elixir storage 1 away from the cannon compartment and 1 down. And that's going to be yet another high HP distractor. And then we're going to put in an archer tower. And the archer tower is going to be against the outside wall and 1 tile away from that elixir storage. And then we'll wrap the walls around. Make sure you leave a space so that it comes down clean next to that elixir storage, okay? Next step is we're going to come off this far corner. Remember our corridor? We're going to come off that corner. We're going to go up to the northwest. We don't have to go very far, but I went ahead and just threw it up there. The next thing is this first wizard tower. It's key that these wizard towers are in this location. You'll understand in a moment. The wizard tower is right next to this clan castle. We're going to put down an air defense, but it's going to be 2 tiles away from the wizard tower and 1 tile away from the clan castle. And then we're going to put in the sweeper. Where's that baby? Where is that sweeper at? We're going to put the sweeper right there in the corner, and this baby is facing directly due south. Now, the walls are going to be right across and next to that air defense. So that is that center compartment. Now let's throw in some of the traps. You guessed it, a spring trap right here between the air defense and the sweeper, and then we're going to put a giant bomb between the wizard tower and the air defense. And those are all traps to take out ground troops, especially the hogs. Now, next is another compartment. It's going to be horizontal right here. First things first, guys, we're going to put a cannon in right in this corner, but 1 tile off, so we're not in that corner, but 1 tile up. We're going to bring our walls up and attach them. They should come together, not perfectly with this top compartment, but 1 off. All right, that was a mistake. There we go. There we go. Get rid of that, baby. All right, so we got the cannon in, and then we're gonna put another wizard tower. Again, a very important wizard tower, and then finally another gold storage just right up off that corner there. The wizard tower and the gold storage should be attached. The cannon and the wizard tower should have a one tile separation and kind of offset just a bit. In between the cannon and the wizard tower, can you guess it? Yep, it is a spring trap, but we're also gonna put down a skeleton trap. And then right off of this, we're not going to build any more walls, but we're just going to put a distractor mortar. And the mortar doesn't really matter too much where he is, but I like to line up the bottom of the mortar right here with the top of that cannon so that they're in line. All right, so that is the western compartment. Now we got several more to build down here on the south. So not off this corner, but one tile over, we're going to put a small wall. I'm not too sure exactly yet how big, but we're going to start the wall. Then we're going to put an archer tower, not off the corner. We're going to go 1, 2 tiles away from the cannon compartment. And then we're going to wrap this wall around. So we were close with our guess. Now we want this wall here to be 1 tile away from the archer tower as we go in and we connect it to the wizard tower. And then this intersection should look like this. Not perfect, just off 1 tile. No traps inside of there, but there's a tricky location up here. We're going to put down a cannon off this corner, and then we're going to go, so you notice the corners are lined up. Then we're going to go up 1 and over 1, and then you probably guessed it, a spring trap in between those defenses. This is a tricky location for anybody that's trying to lure the clan castle from the western side. Next step, guys, is another wall compartment. So off of this corner here, we're going to go down 2, and then we're going to go over a little bit, and we'll figure out exactly how far in a moment. We're going to grab our dark elixir storage. We're going to put it way up in that corner. Another very, very high HP building around that clan castle, around the wizard towers. Honestly, the wizard towers are one of the keyest parts of this entire base. So we're going to protect that wizard tower there, and then we're also going to protect the clan castle with an elixir storage 1 tile away from that dark elixir storage, and then the wall will come straight by that elixir storage. So we were actually correct with that last wall guess. Now, we've got a cannon. It's going to be right next to the outside wall and directly in the middle. That fills in all the spawn points inside of there. And then now we're going to trick everybody with a Tesla farm. But before we do that, let's put in our walls. So we're going to be off that corner, not 1, not 2, but 3 tiles over. We're going to start our walls going out, and then we're going to go all the way over. Let's say from the bottom corner where the arch tower is, we're going to go up 1, up 2, and then we're going to connect these 2 together. Now, to know that you've done it right, you should have 3 walls remaining. Those have a purpose, don't you worry. Now, let's put a wizard tower right in there, right on that corner. We're going to put an archer tower against the corridor up there, except for it's going to be 2 tiles away from the wizard tower. And then, yep, you guessed it, 2 tiles, giant bomb compartment. And then here's a very, very key, tricky part of the whole base. You've got yourself a Tesla farm. So 1 Tesla, 2 Tesla, and 3 Tesla. But this Tesla here is not in the corner. It's 1 tile over. And guess what that 1 tile is for? Yep, a spring trap. Now, the key to this Tesla farm, if you don't mind me interrupting the build, is this Tesla farm is divided by 3 different compartments. This outside compartment, the arch tower compartment, and the cannon compartment. So the Tesla farm is not easily accessed by any ground troops. They've got to bust through 2 different walls to get the entire Tesla farm. So it's a very tricky part of the base. Now, that does the entire inner workings of the base. There are lots of buildings on the outside. I recommend you follow them tile by tile. And we're going to start it out with that beloved town hall. So let's go find our town hall, and we're going to put it right up here against the wall and against the Tesla farm. So you can see here, the town hall is the biggest, highest HP building in the entire base, and it is sitting there protecting our surprise Tesla farm. So that is why that baby is there. Again, 2-starring a town hall, it's not impressive. You're going for the 3-star. So if they grab your town hall, it's not that big of a deal. That's why we can let him go on the outside. Next thing, guys, and we're going to go counterclockwise around the base, is we're going to put down a dark elixir drill. It's going to be against the wall and against the town hall there, just to create a little bit of a barrier. Next thing, guys, is we're going to put down a mortar, but it's not going to be against that dark elixir drill. It's going to be 1-2 tiles over, not for a double giant bomb, because we don't have any giant bombs. We have standard bombs. We're going to put 2 standard bombs in between that mortar and that dark elixir drill, and let's actually cover up that whole thing with an elixir collector. It's going to be up against the mortar, but offset 1 tile. And then remember those 3 walls? We're going to put one of them right here to fill in that spawn spot. So there you go. That creates your straight line where people cannot put down their troops. Now, continuing around the base, guys, let's go ahead and put down the barracks. It's going to be 2 tiles away from this little enclave there. And then we're going to put down an army camp. This army camp is going to be up against the mortar and 1 tile away from that barracks. So we got ourselves a corner rounded up. Let's put down a corner building. We're going to put the Dark Spell Factory, surprising Dark Spell Factory, down here in the corner. And then the trash buildings around here. Again, guys, the trash buildings normally don't matter, but because the base designer, smarter than me, we're just going to follow base step by step, and I suggest you do the same. So we're going to put down a gold mine 2 tiles away from both the barracks and the wall. And we're going to put down a barracks right next to that. 2 tiles away from the wall, 1 tile away from the gold mine, and then another barracks 2 tiles away from the wall and 2 tiles away from that first barracks. Now, the bomb traps, and we'll explain why these are here in a moment, but right now, 2 bombs behind that gold mine and 2 bombs behind the barracks. So that is that side, a tricky side, and I'll explain again why in a moment. Now, continuing around the base, we're going to put a gold mine. It's going to be 2 tiles away from that gold storage and connected to the archer tower compartment. We're going to put down our laboratory kind of right next to that gold mine, and then moving on up, we need our spell factory up 1 tile away from the elixir storage compartment and next to the arch tower compartment. And then we're going to put down our final barracks, and it's going to be corner to corner with that spell factory. We're going to put an army camp in this far corner over here, and that rounds out that corner. Now onto this straight line. Let's put our mortar down first. It's going to be right there in line, again, lined up. The top of that mortar is lined up with the bottom of that cannon right there. We're going to put an elixir collector, and it's going to be 1 tile. No, it's going to be 2 tiles away from the mortar and 2 tiles away from the elixir storage. We'll put another elixir collector, again, kind of like an elixir collector shield between the outside of the base and this exterior mortar. So these elixir collector and mortar, they're offset 1 tile. We're going to put a seeking air mine, finally using one of these babies, right next to that mortar. And then we're going to put down the builder's hut right next to that as well. Then we'll put the elixir collector right there, not in line with the corner, but offset 2 spaces between the mortar and the elixir collector. And actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to grab this mortar, we're going to move him over 1, and we're going to move everything over 1 as well, because it's hard to tell all those little details in my little guide here. So there we go. We moved all those buildings over 1. The spell factory and barracks kind of stay where they are. Lots of open holes right here for people to get confused and scared about and not want to send in their troops. Next thing is some high HP buildings. So we've got our gold storage 1 tile away from both the elixir collector and the wall. We're going to put in a gold mine as well. 2 tiles away from the gold storage and 2 tiles away from the archer tower compartment. We're going to put down a dark barracks over here by this gold mine, 1 tile inset, 1 tile away from that archer tower compartment. Almost done, guys. A builder's hut 2 tiles away from that elixir collector. Another seeking air mine next to that builder's hut. A dark barracks 1 tile away from the gold storage right next to that seeking air mine. We're going to put the gold mine right up here. We're going to create another shield type thing right above and outside of this mortar. Also, let's grab this mortar and move it over 1 so we don't have that spawn circle there. Let's grab this gold mine and move it over 1. So they're only showing 1 vertical tile, if you can see that, between the gold mine and the dark barracks. And then we'll put another gold mine. It's going to be 1 tile separate. There we go. And then we'll put another army camps one tile away from the gold mine and connected to the archer tower, or the cannon compartment. And then, guys, this last corner is the last piece. We've got to put down a builder's hut, and it's going to be there. I feel like we may have shorted ourselves a tile, so let's move this dude over here. We'll move the... That's interesting. Oh, okay, our cannon. Okay, let's move our cannon over. Let's move our spring trap over. Yep, that's correct. Okay, and then let's move our mortar over as well, and then our dark barracks, and that does it there. So we just kind of adjust everything so our spawn circles worked right. Now, around this corner, we're going to put down our gold mine there. We're going to put down our army camps there. And then remember that our extra walls, guys, we're going to fill in this hole just like so. So that means that we don't have any spawn circles so close to our cannon. And then the last piece, guys, we have got a mortar right up against the wall, 2 tiles from the army camps. We got an elixir collector protecting that army camp. And then we've got this drill over here in the corner. Let's move him 1 away from the wall. Now we've got 2 builder huts, a wall, and an elixir collector. You guessed it, we're going to have some corner huts as well. So there goes 1, there goes 2, and then we're going to put this electric collector right up there just for fun. And then we're going to put this last wall right there, just to round out the spawn circle. And then that is it for the build, guys. If you followed me tile by tile and adjusted as I adjusted, this is the base, the most deceiving Tunnel 8 base that I've ever seen personally. So let's look at what the opponent would see if they're going to attack this base. First of all, they're seeing, okay, all of the archer towers are in the center. They're in a triangular... they're in a triangle, and then the sweeper is pointing south. Now, any good attacker knows you don't attack into the sweeper, so that means that they're going to send in their dragons, if they're using Dragloom, on the north, and they're going to make the way south. That way they don't have to deal with the sweeper. Also, if they're going to be using balloons, they're not going to want to get them near the wizard tower. So they're not going to send in balloons at the wizard towers on the left side of the base. So they're going to send balloons at the right side of the base to get in there. Also, if they're going to zap quick, they're going to zap quick the farther air defense from the north, and that is this one. You see what I mean? So that means that they're going to be handling these 2 air defenses from the north with their dragons and balloons. They're going to depend on their balloons to take out this one, and they're going to they're going to allow their dragons to get this one. And that's why, as I remove scout view, we've got all of these air bombs to wipe out balloons as they go in, and then all of a sudden the dragons that they laid heavily on the west side won't be able to get to this air defense because it is moated, and dragons will likely make their way around the base, around the building barrier around the moat. So that is one of the key structures in the base, is the way that the oh, and also the seeking air mines, guys. We get seeking air mines on the outside for the dragons as well, just to weaken them up, just to scare the attacker. And then this Tesla farm, notice that the key section of the base is in the center. The Tesla farm is at the end of the raid, when the attackers already used their rage spell, they've already used their king, they've already done everything they know to do, and then they run into this random Tesla farm and the dragons get melted, or the balloons get melted. Now, if they come at the base from a ground perspective, then notice they're going to want to lure the clan castle. And if you look, all the locations for luring the clan castle are very tricky, but like defenses way outside of the range, except for down here on the southeast, on the bottom right. So that means they're going to be luring with a hog or a giant or something, and there are these what are they called? These little bombs on the outside that will either kill wall breakers or damage hog before they're able to work on a defense and get it down so they can lure the clan castle. So a really difficult lure for this base, a really difficult pathing. Every single time you've got a major defense, there's a giant bomb in the next closest defense. So those hogs are going to suffer tremendously. And also, again, this moat, guys, keeps people's brains, it distracts their brains, makes it harder to look at the base because they assume that bad things are going to happen in there. So it's deceiving in that way as well. And obviously the spring traps between as well. All of these things combine to make this base extremely deceptive, and I guarantee you, unless you're going up against a CWL Champion War League type of situation, you will defend your first Town Hall 8 attack in every single war, as I have seen on this base time and time again. And that's going to do it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something about building base designs. Again, guys, an off-center Tesla farm away from where the kill squad wants to go. A centered king to where you can't be lured, because your king can ruin a hog raid for sure. The air defenses in a certain formation, a sweeper pointing against all of them. That way you're luring the air attack from the backside of the sweepers. Having your wizard towers cheated to one side, so if someone is using Dragloon, the balloons come on the other side and then you destroy them with air bombs. And of course, giant bombs in between defenses, spring traps in between defenses, and key locations having skeleton traps, key locations having high HP buildings. All of that comes into play in building a good base, and this is one of them. I recommend you try it out, learn how it works, watch defenses, and then build your own and see how it works. But if you do use this base, let me know in the comments how it does for you. That's going to be it for us today, guys. Also, by the way, shout out to Snow Tiger for building this. He is on our Klaus Gaming Discord server chat. You guys can come chat with him, talk with him about the base. He loves building bases. He might even build one for you. So the link for that Discord server is down below in the description. Again, that is it for me, guys. I love each and every one of you. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you're not joined the Klaus family. And as always, guys, I'll see y'all again next time.